first impression of this, what would normally consider an ordinary church from the outside, is the massive use of stained glass and the simple but pretty painted ceilings. Hello. Just look at one of these panels closely. Just to get a richness of the color. Not sure if this is made out of brass. I would assume that's what it is. Although that looks like silver plating up there. Maybe some gold plating. Maybe some wood in there. If anything illustrates the difference in the expanse of history between the United States and European countries, it's these cemeteries. I suspect if we knew where to look, and this cloister may be it. 1864. This is the irony of tombstone engravings. Here are two people we know slightly more about than we know about everybody else. One was a professor, one was a doctor, and that's it. To be as cynical as usual, what is the point of something that goes on for generations well beyond the time period that anyone will know anything about you? How many of these people had really interesting stories? Many. Many had anecdotes in their life that would rip your heart out, lift you up in joy, inspire you in business, frighten you to death in the vices. We know nothing. I think so far as the late 1800s on. Many of these people was this church important throughout their lives. Notice how pretty the body looks. On the other side, a discreet little slice for where the sword or the spear was thrust into the side, not the excoriation that we saw in that horrific imagery yesterday. Rudolph just died. There's a service for him inside. I'm guessing this church is not old enough to have really old. Pretty old building. I think it's a school. A CHUL something. That's the only speed that lady can travel at, and if she sees a cigarette butt or some trash on the ground, stops, stoops over, picks it up, puts it in the next trash receptacle, and will not accept any assistance. I tried. So now we're in the town of Igls, or however you pronounce I-G-L-S, and we're going to this Pater Scuffle. This epitomizes the ironical, hypocritical attitude of the Europeans towards their own health. This is right next to the ski area and the tram that I'll be taking up for hiking. And this is the outside as we approach. This is the top gondola, if you will. That building ahead of us is the old one. This is the new unit they're building, and it's going to apparently come bottom to top instead of being in two stages. Whether they dismantle the other or not, who knows. This guy gets the fun job of flying stuff up and down, apparently all day long. And these are the high meadows for the cows that provide the cheese. Minutes ago, and now the opposite side. Fun to see those falls up close, but I'm not going to. I'll be hooking around below this slope. Brook right around the corner and down, of course. And somewhere down below us, we pass the cows. We run into a trail that goes off to the left. Whether it gets over to that long, large ridge or not, I don't know. Ultimately doubles back to our right to that. This sign is disconcerting because it has this pointing up that hill, which makes sense. This pointing that way, which there's nothing. Only trail is that one right there. This trail, the sign is pointing where I want to go, and it's pointing in that direction. So I have to see if there's a little trail over in here somewhere. And no, there isn't, so that's got to be the trail. These are such pretty flowers. Particularly when they carpet the entire slope. It's amazing how rugged these slopes are, and steep. This looks a little bit weathered, but I'm assuming those veins don't normally show themselves. This is a lovely trail through these trees, wherever this trail leads to. Just hard to walk by one of these. It's a little bit different in the sense that it's upturned. So, to give you an idea of what the itinerary has been today, we came up the chairlift from down here up to here, and then we walked up along what I thought was the road, and I think it must have been because we went to the top. So then I came all the way back down and hit a trail right about there with signs, but it was about 400 feet away from what I think was the right trail. and downhill, straight, almost steep. And so I went along this way and almost all the way around until the lady told me I was going the wrong way, so I came all the way back. And then I guess I progressed, somehow came back and ended up going this way. So unfortunately the road, and it was a T intersection, it didn't say which way to go. It might have been here that I was at. I have no way of knowing. It doesn't seem logical because it was only a few 100 feet downhill from this, what I think was this point on the road we climbed up to here on. So I don't know, but it's no surprise that bureaucrats do this stuff. But now I'm down here, and so I'll continue to follow this around, and then I'll get to this point and then turn right and follow it all the way over here until I hit the chairlift or the gondola, then I drop down that first trail and then hit the next trail and go back over, and then we're done. This is a bobsled run that I'll get a look at. Just pan the view. I think the owner's dog's there trying to get at some little ground critter that lives in a hole. And I'll show you what I've ordered. I'm told it's the local Austrian dish. It's this is it. This is
cheese dumpling.
Cheese dumpling and sauerkraut.
Genau.
Yep. Thank you. In this way, it wraps around to the right along the slope, and eventually should come right underneath the gondola. Sweet little stream and the falls tumbling out of the woods, deep woods, I might add. Red raspberries make a tasty little treat along the way here. Somewhere down there where that car is coming from is the middle station, but we seem so low actually that it seems like it must be the bottom, but it's not. The man just came up from the middle station. So who knows? This is what I think of as primordial. And here a microcosm. Last remains of a tree being consumed by those plants. These cables in this rough trench, and also pipes over there, are for the infrastructure for the new $55 million gondola, which will, I assume, replace the old one. Continuing to gouge that trench out for those utilities. Notice the barricade they put here to catch any rocks and debris that come rolling down. Now he looks like he's in a precarious position, of course he is, but I think he's tied in with a steel cable, which is certainly smart. That's certainly a dicey place to be. Look at that rig. Wow.